Hey guys, we're back again for another guitar tutorial. Today we are learning Christ is Enough. It just requires the basic chords G, D, E minor, and C, and then you can either use strum pattern 2 or strum pattern 3. 2 being this one, and 3 being this one. Alright, so let's get started. We'll start with the verse. Probably the easiest part of the entire song. It's just E, C, G, D. So E minor, C, G, D, and that's repeated once more, and then that's the verse. And you just change whenever you're repeating your strum pattern. So for the purpose of this video, I'll be using strum pattern 3 for the most part, and it sounds like this. Christ is my reward, all my to the pre-chorus. Honestly, that's it for the verse. The second verse is just as short and just as simple. Yeah, so if you're still struggling with that, I would recommend maybe trying a different song first, just so you can get used to chords and strumming and singing at the same time without any chord changes mid-pattern, because the rest of the song is all mid-pattern chord changes. But yeah, so we get to the pre-chorus, and it sounds like this. Through every trial, so we'll sing, no turning back. I've been set free, Christ. Okay, so the chords should be up here in the annotations. If your annotations are off, I'll turn them on. And it's just C, D, E minor, D, C, E minor, D. Now, when you're changing mid-pattern with strum pattern 3, you change on a down strum. And if you're changing mid-pattern on strum pattern 2, you're changing on an up strum. So you can go back and check when I play that pre-chorus. Every time I change mid-pattern, it's still on a down strum. However, I'm going to play it now with strum pattern 2, and you'll see that the mid-pattern chord changes happen on an up strum. So it sounds like this. Through every trial, my soul will sing, no turning back. I've been set free, Christ. Okay, so you don't have to follow that. It's not like a law or anything. It's just something that's helped me keep track of and be ready for chord switching in the middle of a pattern. So once again, strum pattern 2, mid-chord changes on up strum. Strum pattern 3, mid-chord changes on a down strum. Okay, after the pre-chorus is the chorus, and the chorus sounds like this, strum pattern 3. Christ is enough for me. Christ is enough for me. Everything I need is in you. Okay, I'm going to repeat it again with strum pattern 2, and then we're going to talk about it. Christ is enough for me. Christ is enough for me. Everything I need is in you. Everything I need. Okay, so the way that this chorus is structured is you play G for full 2 strum patterns, and then E minor for 1.5, and the other half is with a D, and then you go to a C for full 1, D for a half, E minor for a half, C for full, and then D for a half, right? So if I play again, you'll see it goes D, repeat again, and you go to E minor, Christ is, repeat only for a half, to D, to a C, right? Christ is enough. Christ is enough for me. Everything I need is in. Everything I G for 2 patterns, E minor for 1.5, D for a half, C for 1 full 1, D for a half, E minor for a half, C for a full, D for a full, and that's the chorus. I'll have the chords up here again, so you can pause and practice with those. But then after you finish the chorus, you either go into verse 2 or you go to the bridge. If you go to verse 2, you just go straight to the E minor. So it goes, everything I need is in everything I need. Minor, Christ, my all in all. And you do the rest of the verse, exactly like verse 1. Now, if you're going from the chorus to the bridge, there's usually like a short pause in between singing from the chorus and singing in the bridge, where you're just playing G. And I actually just play G, and then I'll slide my index finger up, and then switch it back. So I'll show you what that sounds like, and it goes like this. Pretty simple. You do a G, C, and a D, and then G, C, D to a G at the end, right? So G, C, D, G, C, D, G. And there is only one time where you're switching mid-pattern. But then, for the rest of the bridge, you can either do that same chord progression, or you can do the more complex one that they go into. And I think it's worth it to practice the mid-pattern switches so you can do this, because the introduction of the E minor chord into the rest of the bridge adds that tinge of seriousness into the bridge, right? Because I mean, the lyrics are very serious. You know, you're saying that you're deciding to follow Jesus and there's no turning back, right? This is a big commitment, so you need to, I don't know, it's like more serious about it. So just staying with the happy chords the entire time, you know, it doesn't really reflect, at least in my opinion, how the bridge should be taken emotionally. So if you go to the second part of the bridge, you'll find that there's a lot more mid-pattern changes, including E minor, and it sounds like this. The cross before me, world behind, no turning back, no turning back. Cross before me, world behind, no turning back, no turning back. So yeah, it goes E minor, C, D, E minor, C, E minor, and D. Now, the reason why I'm saying the chords like that is because if I'm saying one chord and another, and then the next two grouped, it's because they switch very quickly, right? It goes E minor to C, because you're switching mid-pattern, then you're playing C for a little bit, then you do D to E minor, where it's a half switch, and then you're doing C to E minor, and then D, right? And the chords are up here, and you can go back and listen to it again just to see when the mid-pattern changes are. But that's it. So, you know, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse 2, pre-chorus 2, chorus again, go into the bridge, right? Simple bridge into more complex bridge, and then chorus, and then you end on the bridge again. Now, as for the preference between strum pattern 2 and strum pattern 3, I prefer strum pattern 3 when I want the song to be a little bit quicker, and I use strum pattern 2 when I want it to be a little bit slower. It really depends on where in the worship set I'm in. And also, I actually switch between the strum patterns, usually. So I'll stick with strum pattern 3 for the most part, but I'll use strum pattern 2 in like the pre-choruses. Or I'll stick with strum pattern 2 for the entire song, and then use strum pattern 3 for the bridge, just to get that emphasis on the bridge. So I mean, here's an example of a strum pattern switch in this song. You'll notice that I'll play the chorus with strum pattern 2, and then I'll emphasize the switch to the bridge with the strum pattern 3, and usually that gets both the multimedia people in the back to know to switch to the next slide, and it's also for the people that are singing along. They know, oh, the chorus is over, it's time for the bridge. So it sounds like this. For me, Christ is enough for honestly, once you get used to the strum patterns, you kind of understand, or you have a feel for when they're appropriate and what kind of emotion or pacing you're trying to convey to the people listening. So that's just personal preference, up to you. Strum pattern 2, strum pattern 3, they all work for this song. So just go ahead and practice the chords, the mid pattern changes, and the transitions between all the different parts of the song, and you'll have no time. So good luck, and I'll see you guys next time.